everybody, this is Lee with Creative2xmom, and in today's video we're going to talk about how we do composer study in our homeschool. So welcome back to my channel. My name is Lee and this is Creative2xmom. This channel is all about homeschooling, parenthood, and thriving in the day-to-day. Today's video is going to be part of a series about how we include enrichment studies in our homeschool. Over the past few years, I have been adding in some of these smaller subjects, and I've found that it really has enriched our study and our growth in our homeschool. So the first one I want to talk about is composer study. Now, composers is something that we added in about 3 years ago, and as time has gone on, we have tweaked it a little bit here and there. We tend to keep our enrichment studies pretty informal, but I wanted to share with you some of the resources and ideas that we have for studying composers. Now, when we first started doing composer study, we took a year where we just talked about orchestra. We talked about all the instruments in the orchestra. We looked up the sounds of the different instruments. We talked about what a conductor does, what his job is. We started to listen for each little instrument in pieces as we would hear them in our morning time. So that was a good basis for our study. We took a whole year to listen, just listen, really. And I learned so much from that one, as well as the kids. So many different instruments that I didn't know actually existed. From there, we have split up our year and we have looked at 2 to 3 composers each year. This year we are shooting for 3. On our schedule this year, I have Stravinsky, Tchaikovsky, and Chopin. So for each of those composers, I always get one of these little books. This is called Getting to Know the World's Greatest Composers. This is Tchaikovsky, and they are so much fun. I wasn't sure I was going to like them when I first saw them, the first one I ordered, but we have really enjoyed them. So it gives a good biography of the composer throughout the book, and there you see just a very nice photo of Stravinsky, but what makes them fun is they also include lots of sort of cartoony type illustrations as well. That's why I wasn't sure I was going to like them, but the kids have loved them. They think they're so funny. There's always like these little slapstick dialogue going on throughout them. So this usually gives us a good background of what the composer was like. I break this one up. We read it over the course of several days. There's not a lot of reading in there, but it's just long enough that to sit and read it in one setting you could, but I tend to lose their interest. The other 2 items that I have pulled from our local library were Great Musicians. This is a DK Eyewitness book. If you're familiar with DK, they put out really good quality. What I like about this one, let me see if I can find Tchaikovsky for you, is that the biographies are nice and short. So you go from something like this, which gives a little bit more detail, to something like this, where you're still getting good detail, but it's short, quick, something that you can easily read in one session. And beautiful photography, beautiful, beautiful, just illustrations on this page. Just a 2-page layout for each musician. The other thing I pulled was Lives of the Musicians. Same sort of idea. With this one, here's Stravinsky. So you have sort of the cartoon illustration, but each little biography is only about, I would say, probably 3 to 4 pages of reading. So this is another one that you could easily do in one setting. We spend some time, each time that we have a composer in our rotation, we rotate our enrichment studies each week. On Composer Day, we spend a little bit of time in one of these books talking about his life, what he was like, putting him sort of in the context of his time period, who were some of his contemporaries. And then I pull up Ambleside Online and I find one of the pieces that that person would have wrote. Have the kids close their eyes. They're allowed to draw if they want to, or just close their eyes and imagine while we listen to the piece. And then we discuss it. We talk about what instruments we heard, what sort of mood it was, what the tempo was like. We just enjoy the music. So I keep our composer study generally pretty informal, other than getting the background information and finding out sort of their time period. But as far as the music goes, I want to just enjoy it with the kids. So that's how we do composer study in our homeschool. Leave me a comment down below. Have you ever done any sort of music or composer study with your kids, and what are some of your favorite resources? I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.